That's using too much energy for no apparent reason at all. Because I can tell you to leave me alone and without yelling and make you understand what I mean.
Yeah, there's a sternness that you can put in your voice when you don't have to yell, but you can still
Yeah,
get it out.
but no, but even in text, there's a sternness I can put in a text without even yelling to tell you leave me alone. Like I think it's just the message. I think when you like when people start yelling at messages, it's because um, they're just being overly emotional, and I try not to do that. I try to have control over my emotions every day, and it's one of my prayers that I try to be emotional, but not overly emotional. I try to have control over my emotions, so I don't allow people to get me to a point to want to yell. I don't allow people to get me to a point to want to be out of my character or act out or want to cuss you out or want to even fight you. I try not to allow myself to get there because in order for someone to make you mad, you have to allow yourself to be mad. So I've learned in my life to allow myself not to be offended by what others do. You know what I mean? Now some things just gradually hurt. They may hurt, but I won't respond to it. I don't have to respond to every hurt. I don't have to respond
Mm-hmm.
to every action. So I just try to keep my emotions intact and I just won't respond because to me, no response is better than yelling at you sometimes. Sometimes silence is better than any lifted voice. And I'll rather just give you silence. You would text me and text me and text me, and I would read it, and I would even turn on my show receipts to make sure that you know that I read it, and I still won't respond because I am petty as can be, and I just won't. But I won't take my time to sit there and yell at you via text. I ain't doing that with nobody.
Listen, I've had
Not at all.
people try to have conversations and go back and forth through text. We've had because this was the only way that we communicated through an app. And I'm like, wait, halfway through the text, hold on. You got my phone number. Like I'd rather you if you got an issue with me, bring it to my face. If you got an issue with me, make sure you have a conversation. Texting I do when I need a paper trail. If I need to make sure that I have something in writing that shows that this foolishness is going on, yeah, I'll text with you. I'm gonna text you so I can make sure you respond so I can get what I got, and then after I get what I need to have for a paper trail, then yeah, go ahead and call because by then I'm already recording the call. But I'm like, it's those things with the yelling at folks and because you have an attitude and your day didn't go right because your boo thing didn't come over and you angry at everybody and instead of you just talking to people with common sense and fussing at the person that you mad at, you start sending messages and stuff with these exclamation points and big capital letters. I'm like, I will start sending emojis. I mess with people. You're not gonna get on my nerves no more. I That's living rent free in my head. You got too much going on. So I started sending messages to him in emoji style. I'm gonna send you a couple of dancers. I'm gonna send you, depending on what we're talking about. You gonna get some emojis that don't make no sense to you, but I know exactly what I'm saying. And then when it's I don't understand, well, come see my face.
Can I say this? And see, I'm the total opposite. I like arguing over the phone. So that's why I don't do it because I think it's funny. I will argue with you and won't mean a thing I say and will sit there and go back and forth with you for a whole hour talking. Won't do it in text because I don't like writing. But I'll argue with you over the phone because a part of me like arguing. I
Yeah, I
like
don't.
it. I like having a good old debate. So
Mm-mm.
I would do that with you. So if you call me on the phone, we can do that all day. And I probably won't mean nothing I say, but I'll sit there and do it. And just to irritate you. Because I know I can say something to get under your skin, or I know that I can, do all of that. So to prevent myself from even going there with you, I just don't. You know what I mean? I used to be like, okay, bye. Just quit talking to me at this moment. Because if I don't quit talking to you, I'm probably going to make you mad. And I really don't want you to be that mad. I don't want you to be that disturbed. I don't want your day to be that disturbed. Because I will. And sometimes I do it on purpose. Because I know
Listen,
that I
I
can.
know people that do that, like on purpose stuff. I used to tell B all the time, see, you want to debate, and that's an argument to me. I'll argue with people's children. I don't go back and forth with folks. I'm like, all this stuff, I hate that. I'm not a person that wants to sit there and argue with you. I've never been really a big talker when it comes to frustration and stuff. I don't do a whole lot of talking. I only got about a good 3 minutes in me before I'm swinging. So I'm like, ain't no point in, if I'm that mad and it's that deep, then either we fighting or we not. That's always been me. I mean, even as a teenager, listen, are we fighting? You arguing? I'm like, your mouth running. Are we fighting or we not? What we doing? Let's get past all of this extra because you're doing a lot of talking, which means you don't want to do nothing for real. So either you're gonna fight or you're not. And I have people walk away from me because it's like, oh, you don't want to hear what I got to say. I don't want to hear nothing you have to say. I am not trying to hear you. My ears are not set to hear your words. We either fighting or we not. And if we're not, walk away from me. Get away from me because you ain't trying to do nothing. And that's the way I used to end a lot of stuff because people want to just sit and argue and talking. Oh, well, this gonna be a talk battle. No, we're not doing. I don't do that. I'm not gonna argue with you. And even now as an adult, I'm not into that whole arguing thing. And B is that one that he wants for mom. And but this happened, and I'm like, B, I feel like you're arguing with me. And so at this point, he's like, no, it's a debate. I don't debate. That's an argument. I don't care what nobody says. Debating is arguing. So I never joined the team, bruh. that that used to be my go-to. I never joined the team real quick because I don't do well with arguments. So I'm not, I know my grace. That ain't it. And if you need to debate, go find somebody else to do that with. But me, no. You gonna catch these hands. Now what we doing? And be just like, forget it, mom. Never mind. Right. And tell me what your opinion is and then walk away. Conversation is over with. All that going back and forth with people, nah. I'm not doing that. That's a you thing. I mean, that my thing with that is you might like it, but you don't know how frustrating you are to most people when you do stuff like that, especially people with low tolerance. You get me frustrated and then my day is screwed up. So now I'm mad at somebody else before I can get to them. My whole shift done happened because you done got on my nerves. Nope, I had to go out of that real quick. That used to be me. You used to be able to get me there. And I'd be fuming the rest of the day, but we ain't never fight, so now somebody else got to get it. Nope. I was like, I've learned to literally just be like, you ain't worth the conversation. You're not worth the argument. People get the argument, I'd be like, have a good day. You still trying to argue with me? Have a great day. You still trying to argue with me? If you're on the phone, I'm hanging up. If you're in my face, I'm guiding you out of my face. Go that way. Go that way quickly. And I don't care if I got to grab you and push you somewhere. Go. Thank you. Because I don't have time for your foolishness. Let's keep it moving. I've been in workplaces like that. Like I don't get the point in that people coming in yelling at you over your desk. Excuse me? Who are we talking to? I'm sorry. I work for the company. I am not the company. You got an issue, you put in the proper critique or your paperwork, fill that out, put that in. Well, I can't stand you. You don't even know me, ma'am. Here you go. I can't stand you. Well, have a seat. Here you go. Like those are my conversations with people. Because I'm not arguing with nobody. But I'm crystal clear about what I need to say to you. And I'm going to say it just as clear until you get to the point where you feel like you want to keep yelling, cussing, hollering, screaming. I mean, I had people throw things over counters at me, and I'm like, um, the first thing was, I'm right here behind this counter. You threw that and you missed. You were not trying to hit me because there's no way you could have missed me where I'm standing at behind this counter. I can't go anywhere. There's no out over here. You're standing next to the out. So you throwing things, your aim cannot be that bad. You were missing me on purpose because you knew better. So you threw it back there to say that you did it. So you can come back here and pick it up. But throwing things at me if you really ain't trying to hit me just lets me know that you still ain't on nothing. Like it's the same. Don't have a seat. Ain't nobody got time for this. But the next thing you throw, you're gonna receive back real fast. It's just I just don't like stuff like that. I think it's petty to sit and argue with people. I think people that argue with folks for fun is petty. And I've always been that. I just don't get it. It's like you just like being irritated for what reason? Just to be irritating? I can see if somebody did something to you. But if ain't nobody did nothing to you, I mean, that real sound petty. I believe you. I really do believe you. I'm like, that's not. If I ain't do nothing to you and you doing that, yeah, you just pretty much lost somebody to talk to. I probably won't ever speak to you again. That's and I have no problem with my cutoff game is real strong. So I'd be like, that's okay. I'm good. I'm just not gonna argue with somebody. That's a waste of my time and my energy. I got better things to do. But to making sure that everything is crystal clear when I talk to you, I'm gonna say it crystal clear. I might hurt your feelings. I might say something that is true that's gonna hurt you. Because most of the time when I get into issues, it's because I said something that hit home. It's not because I said something about you that was an undercut and it wasn't true, but you angry. No, it's because I said something that really was like, wait a minute, did she go there? Yes, because you're being petty. Like it's just it doesn't make sense to me, and that's in conversations in business, in setting things up with what you need to do and how you flow in life. You need to be crystal clear and not let people in they text messages just make an assumption because people will read it and then they'll take it and let somebody else read it, but they're reading it to them the way that they think you said it. That's why I like the voice message thing. I'd rather just voice message you and let you know that I got a problem with this, that, and the other, and then I tell you have a great day. It's not really that serious for me. I mean, that's where I'm at with all of that. Kelly Webb, what you got for us this morning?
Hey y'all, beautiful people. I hear y'all. Some people being petty, some people being straightforward, huh?
Listen, you got y'all know me. I, don't, I have no
I
problem
was
with
over
certain
here
people.
listening to yours. I was like, yeah, that's true.
You know,
Yeah,
I'll be like, I will tell you, and then I move on. Like I'm quick for it. Okay, have you gotten it? Yeah, now never talk to me again. There you go. Thanks.
this is facts. I've seen it. Yeah.
And I
Yep.
stand on that. I mean, what's the point of arguing with people? I just don't get it. Either you about action or you're not about action. My thing is I'm a doer and not a follower. So because you're arguing with me does not mean I need to argue back with you. Y'all listen, like me and B got this thing right where if he hits me or he pops me, what was he doing, Kelly? I can't remember. Did he pinch me?
He poked
He
you
poked
and
me.
you smacked the. Oh, he was like, that is not the same. That is not equal.
I'm like, but
He said, ain't nothing about that supposed to be equal.
this was
You
my
put your hand
thing
on
with
me, I
the
put my hand on you.
right. My whole thing with that though was stop expecting people to do you like you do them. That and I
That was
kept
so
telling him
funny.
that yo, just because you poke me don't mean that I'm gonna poke you back. I don't like being poked. And I say that a lot. Stop poking the bear, B. Stop poking the bear. If you poke me, you get swung on. You know that, especially when you know that's something I don't like. I've been real crystal clear about this. I've been telling this dude this since he was 5. Son, don't poke me. Mama's reactions are different. Please don't poke me. Like, just call my name or walk up and pat my leg. Don't poke me. And he's like, okay. Now, when he was little, he would walk up and look at me and just go, Mom. Now, because he remembers that he will poke me just off him being him, just because he knows it bothers me. Okay, fine. Then you catch these hands. So he poked me, and Kelly was talking to me, and I swung up. But whoa!
I was shocked at how quick that hand was, and it wasn't no just hit. It was that that where your finger snap back and you hit it. Yeah, I was like, ouch.
Yeah, I caught that
I
hand
felt
before it
that,
got
and I
away
was
from me.
looking. His face was so funny though. He was like, "Mom."
I told you, stop poking me, bruh. Like, seriously, stop poking the bear. Leave me alone. I'm not bothering you. Why are you bothering me? Because he had nothing else to do. And then he tried to play the victim. Oh, my, that's not fair. You hit me, but all I did was poke you. You're supposed to poke me back. Now my arm hurt. Wait. So you expect for you to get away with doing something to me I asked you not to do to me years ago and have been saying for years, don't do this. But you're supposed to get away with doing it to me? And I'm supposed to be okay with it and just turn around and poke you back. Nope. You're going to get whatever I feel like in the moment that you doing whatever it is you're doing to me. Because you shouldn't have done it. That just didn't make sense to me. So, yeah. Yeah, I got him a couple times. We did.
Yeah,
He did the thing where he
felt
walked
bad for
in.
his body part.
Huh?
I kind of felt bad for his body part.
You should have seen it was when we were in. And I was just drilling him in his arm because he wouldn't stop. He kept going.
No, that's never the answer.
That's never the answer. What, drilling him in his arm? hey,
Violence is never the answer.
he shouldn't put his hands on me. Like, don't touch me and I won't touch you. He literally came in and was just like, hey, mom. And with the hey, mom, he double poked me. And I was like, what is wrong? Okay.
No, I found
That's
it
how you get
funny that
somebody's
day that he
attention.
poked you.
No, you don't need to get my attention like that. I got my
It's
kids
a
trained.
hey, how you doing?
No, then wave. That's why the Lord created those. Wave your hands.
No, you wave to worship.
You lift your hands and wave to worship. You put your hand in front of your body and wave it to say hello at somebody. Brandon comes in here, instead of him standing by the door and saying hey and waving, he comes all the way up and goes, hey mom, why? Why when you know I don't like being poked? I said, okay, I got you. So I just started hitting him. And as I'm hitting the same spot. I don't want, and every time he moved, I come around another way and hit that same spot. I don't want nothing else on your body. I'm not trying to hit you nowhere else. I want that same part of your arm that I hit the first time. I'm gonna keep punching that until it starts to throb. And then you hear, okay, okay, okay. And I'm like, is your arm, mom, did you frog my arm? I did. Stop poking me, sir. And he go, I'm sorry, but his arm the whole time is still just going. And I just come back and sit down, like back to what I was doing. So I haven't had that happen in the past couple of weeks, though. That was a couple of weeks ago. Like,
No, I think it was funny the time he came and poked you, tried to run and ran into the door. That was
and
hilarious. She
that's
was
the
like,
guy
I
don't
ain't
like
gotta
a
do nothing. She said, Karma got you. I ain't even have to do nothing. Didn't
guy
even
don't like
move.
ugly.
I was like, oh, now that looked painful.
I keep telling him you be nitpicking. You nitpick at me, you got something. My guy don't play about me. My daddy be like, leave her alone. And you came all the way here bothering me. Don't care what I'm doing, just decided to bother me. But you can catch all this.
Michael say so violent
I'm
today.
not violent at all today. And my thing is,
That was the
listen,
door.
the door hit him. I touched nothing. That was all him in the door. But my thing with me today is not being violent. It's just letting y'all know about the violence that can come when you do stuff and not be crystal clear. Now, if I'm crystal clear with telling you don't poke me and you come and do it, then I believe that you're being violent to me. You're trying to promote me or provoke me, I should say, provoke me into being a violent person because you already know that I done told you leave me alone. Like, don't do certain things. I cannot stand one of the things I can't, I will never put up with, and that's with anybody, and that's for anybody. Like, literally, when it comes about people, I hate when people don't follow your instructions about you. If I tell you not to poke me, if I tell you not to pull on me, if I tell you not, and you do it anyway, you are violating my space. You are literally, and I mean, I take that real serious. Like, do not do that. No means no. Stop means stop. Don't do that means don't do that. And if you gotta go above and beyond that when you being told that, you finna catch whatever I give you. And I'm okay with that. I'm like, and when the Lord asks me about it, I'm be like, hey Lord, now you gave us instructions. We supposed to follow those. And I know we don't always do it, but I gave instructions about how to treat me. And you doing your own thing, well, I'm gonna have to take the hit for that. I know them points. Just I don't have no explanation of why. I just know that I just refuse. That's where I'm at. And if you bothering me, you gonna catch whatever you catch on those things. Like, I just can't. I'm like, especially when you honestly clear with somebody, like, why do people step outside of what you telling them about your body? I hate that. That I think because in my head I kind of associated with, if I'm telling you, I don't want to go out with you, and you decide to do craziness. Like the guy, I don't know if y'all saw that, but there's a lot of controversy about this going on. The post that went up about the young lady who wouldn't give the guy her phone number at the gas station, and all these black men were standing around. And her post was, all these black men stood around here and watched this man hit me upside my head with a brick for not giving him my phone number. And I was
I
like,
did
wait,
see that.
you did?
I saw that. Yeah.
And she showed the video of her at the
What? What
hospital.
happened? Mm-hmm.
This young
You feel
lady, how are you on and not on? You didn't even say you went anywhere. We just talked. He said,
No, I heard what you said, but I'm like, that really happened, and
yeah,
nobody said anything.
yeah. I
See,
actually saw the video from the hospital of
let me
her
shut
recording
because
herself.
you gave my title out, so let me shut my mouth about what I would have done. I would have prayed and asked the Lord to cover.
Hmm. Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
this is the question I had because I was a little confused. Um, she was saying that she never did anything wrong,
Yeah. That's
but
a
they showed a
whole.
lot of videos where she was walking up to people randomly, just slapping them in the face, and
Okay.
like I,
So there was something extra to that too, because I had to research that. I saw that too, where the people were like, she's saying that he was wrong for hitting her in the face with a brick because she wouldn't give him her phone number. I said he was. I'm sorry, he's absolutely wrong. And she blamed the black men standing around her, saying black men never protect black women because they stood here and watched him do this. And I said, well, they were his friends. He was out there with them. So they not
yeah,
finna try to stop him from doing something. He walked up to her, hit her in the head. I mean, walked up and smacked her upside the head with a brick, and then walked away and got in the car and left. The thing was that what everybody else was talking about is she goes around and does these videos. What people didn't research is those are skits. The people that she's slapping is part of her team. That's
mm,
that's something they've been creating for a long time. And them same people are part of her team. They have like white guys standing there, and she's supposed to be in the middle of a rally. If there's like a rally going on, she'll have one of the white guys that's a supporter of black people standing there. She'll walk up and just slap them for content, but they're part of her team. So you
yeah.
now
I mean,
get
you
her
could tell
coming
that she
back.
not slapping them hard too. So
Right. Oh, she hit one of them in the stomach real hard, but they literally are part of her team. Like they sit here and make these skits and they record them for content. So people were pulling that all of that stuff off of the internet and putting it up, and I was like, "Wow, this don't make sense." Like she got a lot of these videos, and you telling me she ain't been arrested yet? Like that
mm,
don't make sense. So I went back and I researched it, and I started really looking into a lot more of it. Was like, huh, let me go ahead and check this part out. So I went to checking it out, and as I'm checking it out, I'm like, wait, oh, okay, because I had to figure out why the same man that she hit on this video months later was at a rally with her, standing with her, talking with, and I'm like, did you forgive her? What happened? That's what made me start looking into it, and then I found out he's been on her team for years. Like this is what they do. She said everybody's talking about this video, but y'all forget that this is what we do. I'm like, what is happening here? Like why? So that's what they're using, trying to use as an excuse of why it was okay for this dude to do that to her. And I was like, it's not
I
okay.
mean, that's not okay.
I don't care
It
what she
don't matter
does.
what she did, but um, that's not okay. I had, to be honest, I had forgot that happened because there was so much stuff going on. Um, which is really bad to say, but I will be honest, I had forgot that happened. But so I never saw the whole video. I only saw the end of it where she was hollering, and then a clip from the hospital. Like I didn't know somebody had the entire video of who the person was. Like you saw the person
You saw the back
that
of the
did.
person.
Oh,
They didn't
okay,
get this was somebody standing out there that recorded that.
gotcha.
And so it could have been one of his friends, but you don't see him. Like you can't tell who he is. And you see the
I
back of, and I
just,
was like,
her
what kind
face
of
was
stuff?
so swollen. I felt really bad for her.
Yeah,
I was like,
because
oh, he could have killed her from where it looked like that print is. Like if he'd have moved up just a little bit, that'd have been her
her
temple. She'd have
temple.
been out.
Yep. And she's swollen, like her face was sitting out. If you all have ever seen Spy Kids, the original Spy Kids, and that part of the show where they show Floop and all of the I forgot what they call them things, but the things that he created, the little clay people or whatever, that's the way her face looked like. It stood out from her face like an extra piece of skin, almost like a what do you call those things? The keloids, but a giant one
Mm-hmm.
sitting offside. It was literally it's crazy. It was literally hand palm of hand big, like so big hanging off her face. It was just so wrong. And I was like, you. He walked up, and you know that he didn't just throw a brick and hit her inside the head because throwing a brick couldn't have did that.
So you put some force behind with a brick in your
Yes,
hand. It's either you or she. That's he could have killed her. Like
and that's
even holding it in your hand,
yeah.
you could kill her.
But that's why people were originally saying this got to be one of her skits. Like once I found out about the skit, somebody said, "Well, how we know that ain't no skit?" Well, she actually went to the hospital, recorded in the hospital, sitting in the ER. She was in a room in a gown, sitting there, showing her hair. I think she had an IV, but showing her face in the recording. Like she was not in a green room. It wasn't no green screen. She's literally sitting on the bed and in tears, like this is what he did. And from the video, the original video, where she said all these men stood out here and watched him do this to me. I know she kept yelling, all these black men stood out here and watched him do this to me. And then they expect for us to be able to just honor them. And she just was angry. And the guy was trying to talk to her, like, what did you want us to do? And she was like, I wanted you to do something. You didn't do anything. You just stood there.
I mean, you definitely go see somebody pick up a brick. You not.
Yeah.
Somebody saw him pick it up.
Somebody saw him pick it up and they all saw him walking towards her because she says that she was closer to the door, like she was about to go inside, and he just walked up, and when she turned around, he hit her with the brick. And I'm like, y'all saw him and y'all know him. Like literally he out here with y'all. Y'all know his character. Y'all knew he was gonna do something like that. But it
Well,
was so
because
many of
I
them
don't
out
know.
there. Like when she took the video around the lot, it had to be about 7 or 8 of them standing outside. I was like, and nobody tried to stop this. I said, this is why I teach to take care of yourself and not expect nobody else to do it for you. I don't care if they're black, white, Hispanic, or whatever, blue, purple, whatever. Why are
Yeah,
you worried about somebody else being able to take care of you? Don't expect for nobody to do it because these days people won't. If they do, God bless them. Thank you. But I raised B to, and I'm the same way with, I think my nephew, I was the same way with them. Like growing up, I raised them or taught them, you defend us because we're going to defend you. Like that's just the way it's going to happen for you. You defend us. Even if you don't defend outside of your family, you're going to defend us. We're going to teach you to defend us. Like we'll come to bat. Let something happen to one of us. They will be ready to go. B is still like that. I've had B call me from Boston Market. Mom, he was like, you might have to come up here. And so what? This man is in here harassing this young girl behind this counter, and I'm going, what do you mean? He's like, it's an older dude inside of Boston Market messing with her. He said, so stay on the phone with me because I'm finna try to deter him because he's scaring her. And it was late at night, like the store was about to close. It's like 30 minutes before they closed. And they got the teenagers on duty with a manager who's the same age as them. I was like, wait a minute. Where's the adults in the room? He was like, Mom, there's one guy here. He looks like he's about 19 years old, but he looks scared because this dude is reaching over the counter at her. And I said, okay, you finna intervene? He was like, yes, all right. I'm on the phone. And B goes, cuz I came to pick you up. I was like, my kid's smart. He's like, I'm not gonna just step in front of this dude. And the guy stopped and looked at him and she looked at him and he was like, you ready to go? You off yet? And she was like, no. I got about 30 more minutes before I'm off. And B said, okay, I'll wait on you. What's up, man? How you doing? And the guy looked at him, and I could hear how he said, "Be somebody." He looked at me in my face. He said, "Oh, you know her, man?" He was like, "Yeah, that's my family. What's the problem?" He was like, "No problem. You know, she's just a pretty girl." He was like, "You way too old to be trying to talk to a man for real. You should go on and leave her alone." He was like, "You know, age ain't nothing but a number." He said, "Not now, family. That right there to get you 15 to 25 years." And she was looking at B, and B said, "How old are you?" She goes 16. He said, right, 16. And you look like you about 40 something? Bro, leave her alone. Man, I was just trying to tell her she was pretty. He said, I'd rather you not tell my cousin she pretty. And he just stood by the counter and he was like, Mom, you might have to call the police in a minute. I think we finna fight. Nope, you ain't finna fight. Just stand there. He stood there and the guy walked out. When he walked out, she started crying and she was like, "Thank you so much." She said he come in here every night bothering me, and I have to call the police every night, and they don't lock him up. They just take him outside. And I was like, I don't care how you have to be. I told B, well, that was a smart way for you to do that. I'd have started the whole fight. Thank God you used your wits, because you don't know nothing about these people out here. And in that area, you got a lot of the old vets that are not mentally stable anymore, and they stand outside the restaurant, so you never know who you're gonna run into. Right. And I was like, okay, can you do me a favor and not leave her in that store? And he was like, that's fine. Your food gonna be cold. I don't care. Just don't leave her by herself. Like that manager ain't protect her in that store. He ain't gonna protect her outside. So just walk her out. But I'm like real clear. That's another with crystal clear. Brandon was real clear about instructions. Leave her alone. And I don't think since we had been back up there, she said that nobody had been back up there messing with her. But B stood there with her and then walked her out to her car and made sure she got in her car. And she was like, "Do you need a ride?" And Brandon's like, "No, don't be inviting people in your car." Like, oh God. Like,
Just because they help you don't mean they smart either.
right. They could be with the dude that Brandon was like, "Ma," I kind of shook my head like, "Girl, get in your car and go home." And he was like, "See you." He said the dude was across the street the whole time at the church, just like standing by the church. And B said, I walked
Watch
past
it.
him and kept going. But that's where they hang out at. So he said, I just walked past him and kept going. And he was like, you got $1. And B was like, no, kept going. He's like, Mom, head to the house. I was like, dude, well, I just thank you. Protect us. Like, but that's my thing. But I don't believe in that black men don't protect black women. I don't believe that. I believe that there are some black men who do not protect black women. Yes, there are some black men that don't protect women, period. I got you. There are white men that don't protect women. It's just across the board. It's not our black men just don't do. Some of our black men is like, we tired of helping y'all and y'all keep going back to the situation. It's just that simple. Like you decided not to be active in your own life to make sure you're good. So I mean, for me, I'm I'm good on the men protecting me part. I'm like, if you protect, you step in, you step in. If you don't, I got it. Don't worry about it. I'm good. Like that's the way my mindset is. I've had B step out the way. His I've had his dad in a situation where he was like, "You knew I was standing there, right? Like I had this. Why did you step in? Because it was about me and we ain't together. I got me. I don't know if you still protect me or not." I got this. You got a whole nother. Listen, I'm honest. I don't trust him like that. So my thing is, I didn't know if he was gonna step up when we were together. Yes, I would have automatically just stood there because I know that you have my back. We're not together anymore. I don't know if you'll still protect me the same way. So I had to step up for myself. Sorry, I had to go to bed, and that's the way I dealt with it. He was angry. I didn't care. Thing was like, I just need to make sure I'm good. And you didn't. I mean, because at one point when we broke up, his conversation with me was different. He said, "See, you on your own now." Oh, okay. So I deal with it like that. Like when we were together, you used to chase. If a dog started chasing behind us, you would shoot a dog away, or you would, step in front of me. A dog got behind us one day, standing. I ain't finna stand still. I don't care about the whole stand still. They'll walk past you. Lies. So not in the hood. Them dogs come right up to you where you at and you are going. I was like, I can't do that. So I went to jump up on the gate and he jumps across the gate too. You was I'm still going across. You didn't make sure I was over. So you messed up with that whole you gonna protect me thing. I'm sorry. I got me and Jesus. I don't trust you. And like that's not. Mm-mm. So I'm definitely like I'm not gonna wait for you to protect me. I got me. I'm gonna make sure that I'm okay. God got me, and if God sends somebody to be nice enough to, say something about it, great. If not, great. But I don't expect for people to take it. Like that video when it came out from me talking about all these people stood out here and let him attack me. Yes, that's. I mean, our world now is just bad. So you're not getting all that chivalry of people trying to help. So I don't know. Tyrell, would you help black women or a woman, period, out there being attacked?
It depends on the circumstance. If and I do say this with a big if, because I don't think anything a woman can do except for putting her hands on a man that can cause a man to react to put his hands back on a woman. Because I don't believe in women putting their hands on men, but men are not supposed to hit women back. I don't believe that. If you are big enough to hit a man, you're big enough to take that hit back.
Yes.
God bless. But most definitely, I have literally pulled over on the side of the road to stop men from beating on women. Didn't even know the situation. I don't believe in it. I don't. And this is the thing is, I'm not close to my mother or my sisters like that, but I wouldn't let a man beat on my mother or my sister. So I definitely am not about to let a man beat. I cannot sit around and watch a man beat on a woman. Now, give her granted, if I see the whole exchange and this woman shoves this man in his face and this man, knock her off her shoulders, God bless you, sis. That's what you get. You should have kept your hands to yourself and just use your words. But since you do know how to do that, God bless you. Now, would I tell him, afterwards, hey, you didn't have to go that far? Maybe so. But I would not stop it because some women need to understand that you cannot go around putting your hand on men. And I think a lot of women believe that they can because they just feel like men should never hit women. And I'm sorry, but that don't make us punching bags for you. So it just really, really depends on the circumstance. Now, if I didn't see anything and I just see a man beating a woman, I'm most definitely jumping in and I'm stopping it.
Right.
So yeah, I'm protecting mine. I mean, you ain't got to be black. You could be black, white, Puerto Rican, Asian. I don't care. I ain't about to let no man beat on you.
And see, that's the way I am. I feel like, and I taught my kids that I teach that to any young man that I deal with. All of the extra 30 some kids. I'm like, don't put your hands on no woman if you don't want no woman putting their hands on you or you don't want to see the inside of a prison cell. But I also turn around and tell the girls, don't put your hands on no man unless you want him to put his hands on you. Because what you're going to do is cause him to react. And this might be somebody who's never put their hands on a woman, but you're hitting him. So he has every right to defend himself. And I told B that. I'm like, I had to use B as an example with his cousins and his sisters. Like, listen, see him? He don't touch y'all ever. When y'all get into arguments and get to coming at him, like he walks away. Like mom told me not to be fighting with you, so I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna use my words. So I'm leaving. I said, but if y'all put y'all hands on him, now B, he ain't gonna touch y'all back because his thing is don't hit women. I don't hit women. So y'all pick at him because y'all figure that he not gonna hit me anyway. But then I have to come in and defend him because he's not gonna hit you. It's just the way he's built. He's not. He's like, I'm not putting my hands on a woman. That's not the way I do that. But if he get mad enough, he gonna lay you out. You gonna keep on picking at him and touching on him, and he's gonna lay you out. I've never known B to put his hands on a woman. Haven't found a woman yet that can say that B has ever swung at her, even when she swung at him. But I've seen him get angry enough to the point where I'm like, he'll be in tears because he's mad that he want to hit her. And then, mom, I'm losing control. Like, I really wanted to knock her off her feet. Well, she put her hands on you. I'm kind of angry you didn't. And he's like, Mom, you ain't raised me like that. I don't You don't let no woman because they'll keep thinking that they can do that to you. So if you got somebody swinging at you as a man and she putting her hands on you, get somebody to record it. Grab your phone, open the phone up, and just be like, go, throw your arm up. I started teaching him how to block himself from women swinging at him. If she's swinging at you and she not taller than you, throw your arm up and push your arm out. Just don't throw it out to hit her. Push your arm out, and that'll keep her from being able to touch you. Just keep going. Then move on from there and move on. But if you see that you got this big old extra large woman that's coming at you Amazon style and she about to swing at you and hit you with something, take her down. We'll talk about it later. I got your bill money. Take her out. Just put on her back. You ain't gotta kill her. Put on her back. I'm like, you know how to just sweep her feet. And I'm not joking, y'all. I had to teach him. So you ain't gotta touch. Sweep her feet. Knock her down. She gonna get embarrassed to stay down there. I promise you. Just sweep her feet. Just do that because I'm like at this point you gotta learn how to How, I throw this punch from Virginia. Lord, you gotta be able to to get yourself taken care of and taken care of this situation because it's too much. Hey, Qualita, it's too much. Hey, my said, because baby, you'll still get hit. Listen, I'm like, these days you don't know. And I'm listen, I tell on myself, I was not one to fight me and like start the fight. I was the one that always finished the fight. You picking at me, or you did something to one of my sisters, or you bothered one of my little brothers, then yeah, I'm gonna get involved in that. And yeah, I'm gonna fight you, man, woman, I ain't care. But I was abusive because I was abused kid as a young adult, 16, 17 years old, living on my own. I was abusive to my boyfriend. Like literally, he would say something and I would swing. He would come at me and like I would think that he was trying to hit me and come to find out he wasn't. So I'm swinging out of defense. But because automatically I'm thinking that I'm being in harm's way, like any man's, that's the way they're gonna act. And I would be daring him. I dare you put your hands on me. It was just so bad. And I mean, he was bigger than me and everything. It was just he just wouldn't. He was like, I'm not like that's not the way I was raised. I wasn't raised to be fighting no woman. But that's what I was used to because that's what was happening to me at home. So I'm like, okay, this is not something that should be happening. Like at all. And it took for me to hit him with a barbell that he won't even tell me where I hit him at to this day, still won't. But he just like literally took this lick and just was like, "Don't worry about it," because he knew my household situation. I'm like, that was not okay. That's when I started making sure I went to counseling for anger management because I was like, that wasn't okay at all. You were reaching for something, and I thought you were swinging at me, so I hit you first. Like that don't make sense. I hit you and then left you there. Like thank God his mama was in the house because if I had injured him, I could have killed him. Like that was just really bad. So I went to counseling for that because I had to make sure that I was good. But when we talked about it later on, his thing was, I'm fine. That was fine. I get it. No, I don't. I don't get it. I was like, and why won't you swing back at me? Like I would have knocked me out. And he was just like, I'm never gonna do that. I'm not gonna put my hands on you. Like that's not the way that's supposed to happen. So these people, men, I didn't understand, and I kept saying, I don't understand. Why is it that a man will sit here and let a woman beat on him like that and not defend himself? Why would you do that? I still didn't understand that some men just will not step outside their character because you acting up. I mean, to this day, I say I still have questions about that one. I'm just not, I'm not together, y'all, on that one. I'm like, mm-mm. Somebody got to do something because who's gonna stop that woman from thinking that it's okay? Now I did see a what was that I'm trying to remember who was that they were talking to. Um I think it was I don't know if it was Krishan Rock. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong because y'all might know what I'm talking about. I believe it was Krishan Rock and Blueface, but they were talking about the guy was talking to the girl's dad, right? And her dad was telling him, "Don't put your hands on my daughter again." And I was
Yeah,
thinking,
it was.
that really? Okay. I was thinking to myself, what do you mean again? Like, are you literally having a conversation with this dude and he didn't put his hands on your daughter? Like, you ain't being a real good representation of a dad. In my head was like, mm-mm. He'd have been getting up off the ground as I was saying that. Like, why are you being so passive about the situation? Not understanding that that's their lifestyle and that's what they do is fight each other back and forth. I was like, okay. Well, then the dude said, well, teach your daughter to stop putting her hands on me. He was like, is that what you teach? He said, I taught my daughter to be a woman. He said, did you teach your daughter to put her hands on men? Because she put her hands on me. So that's how she got her hands. And that was what made him mad was that you called him out on his parenting. Like, he wasn't mad because you hit his daughter. Certain like things like that is like, that's unclear to me. Unclear. It's not right. Somebody needs to tell me why. I don't get it. Like you could have been. even more clear with that. Hey, don't put your hands on my daughter. My daughter won't put her hands on you. Y'all need to separate. Be extra clear. Don't do this. Don't do that. I feel like when fathers don't step up to say things like that, especially to men, that their daughters apparently are not gonna stop dating, then you leave it open to for that man to think it's okay to keep putting his hands on your daughter. That's just my opinion
But
on
I
that.
think that's a case of knowing your daughter. Like, if you look at the lifestyle of Krishan, you know she wasn't going to stop. When she gets drunk, she loses control and she does what she does. So he knows that he can't teach his daughter to keep her hands to herself because she just can't, because she has a drinking problem. So I got to be offended about something. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just going to be offended because you called me out about my mess, because I probably did train my daughter to be a lady. But she has an issue, which is drinking, which just causes her to lose her temper, which just causes her to put her hands on people, which causes her to get her block knocked off every now and then. So it's something that he can't really get mad about, because she shows that on public TV. She's hit him on public TV.
Yeah,
And
but
he's
he's hit
resisting.
her too. Like
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
watched
yeah.
some
Like,
stuff.
can
They
I
are
can I jump
crazy.
in on that? Can I
Yeah.
jump in on that part real quick? So, in regards to her dad, she said, and I want to say it was her mother. I can't. I don't want to quote that definitely. They never had a relationship because her father used to be abusive to her mom, which is why
Mm-hmm.
they separated. But in regards to the whole relationship thing, she came out. I don't know if it's still online, but I think you guys could still probably find a video where she finally started telling the truth of why she
Mm-hmm.
would drink so much to numb herself, because he was pimping her out to his friends. So she drank to go numb,
Mm-hmm.
and she just kind of, after a while, she just became like that overly additional aggressive person. But I mean, you could see that she's doing something different now, which I applaud her for. But at the same time, she's also starting to tell a story. So more of the abuse did come his way when she would say no. And they always called when she would be aggressive to make it look like it
It
was the
was
other
her.
way around.
Mm-hmm.
And she was doing more of defending herself. Not saying she didn't start stuff, but a lot of things that they called, it was her defending herself because of what he did. And then he started having somebody record, or somebody happened to catch it from that end. But and he hasn't denied any of it, so he'll just be like, whatever. I mean, you can see those things he's doing it himself. I'm not making it up. There's
Yeah,
clips
I
out
saw.
there and there's videos out there um, right now. So, and he's the same way with his son's mom. Like, he was just live a few days ago and was laughing at his son's mom talking about, see, she gonna learn not to do what I tell her. She gonna learn to do what I tell her. So when she's crying, talking about, but you didn't have to hit me like that. So, and this is what's her name, Jaden,
Jalen. Mm-hmm.
something like that. So yeah,
That's crazy to me. That right there is crazy to me. I'm glad that she got out of that situation. She did explain. I saw the video you're talking about when she started explaining about all this stuff. She was like, "Let's just be real." She made it real crystal clear. This is what was going on. He kept me drunk. He kept me high. She was like, and the drinking and stuff started to be my numbing mechanism because of what he was doing and had me doing. She was like, "You can't take my money no more. You done with my checks. I had all my checks transferred back." She was like literally pimping me out and taking my money. And she said he was even before the baby was born, he was talking to her about them getting back together, but his thing was go ahead and switch them checks back over to me. She was like, "You want my new money? I left you. When I left you, I left all of the old money with you. Didn't ask for a dime. But now you want my new money that was about me that I did, and I'm not giving it to you because that's the only reason why you want me to come back." And I'm like, you know what? I'm glad she got sense. I'm glad she got herself. She's back in church. She goes to church under Dr. Freeman, and I'm like, Jesus.
And she just got the baby dedicated.
Dedicated. Yep.
Dedicated. I said, "Oh my God,
And
that mama
people drug her
instinct
for
was
that.
kicking in." They did.
They tried to drag her for that. I was like, are you kidding me?
Talking about you supposed to still be in the house. That baby too young, and
No, it wasn't even that part. They were dragging her for doing it, period. Like, what's that supposed to do? So now you trying to make his dad mad? Like, what does daddy got to do with him being dedicated back to the Lord? I was like, this is crazy.
They always gonna drag somebody who's trying to get their life together. Child. They did it to Angela White, so they gonna do it to anybody thinking about these folks get their life together.
And it was just crazy. Because for me, I
But they
wouldn't.
sure enough gonna level Jehovah over there.
Who?
Self Jay-Z, ugly self.
Oh,
You know of Jehovah,
I was like, what's a Jehovah?
a fool.
okay, okay.
Oh, look, I'm like, that sounds like Jesus to me. It's like, every time somebody.
Another fool. A fool in the making and another fool in the making, child.
Every time I hear stuff like that.
Sick of it. Ugh, they make me sick to my stomach.
I was like, you got people over here trying to be as close to Jesus as they can with a name.
They can't do nothing. Ain't got no power.
None.
Y'all think these little demons gonna protect y'all, baby? Watch. Watch till they turn on you, huh?
Listen.
And you're gonna be upset.
I was watching Wild 'N Out, and one of the raps on this recent episode of Wild 'N Out, Nick Cannon says in the middle of him rapping, said, "I've done a lot of things to be successful in this business," and everybody kind of looked at him like there's certain people that's part of his incredible um, production crew, like the rappers and stuff. They all kind of looked at him like, "Watching Nick." I was like, Lord, these people is trying to stop this man. You, cause he literally is like on the fence. He'll um he'll do a song with Kier Shear. He'll worship and say he at church. He'll do, and then he'll go and say something that almost talks about what they've been doing back scenes and different parties and stuff, and he'll expose a little bit here and a little bit there. I promise y'all, we were watching and I was like, okay. They looking at him like stop. Then there's another one where Kevin Hart's on there, and Nick said something else, and Kevin kind of looked at Nick like, "Nah, bro." I was like, y'all,
Because they know that if you expose it, they gonna basically shut you down. But the
or you
thing
come up
is, when
missing.
they or you come up missing. But the other thing, and I apologize for the noise in the background. Or the other thing is that well, you know what? Oh yeah, I can say it. The other thing is that they'll have you do a public apology as if you said something directly offensive. And I don't think that many people realize when you haven't said anything and they make you apologize for something you didn't say, you telling more than your apology. Because if the words never came out saying this person said or this said, then in actuality, having to step up and say, oh, well, I didn't mean to offend this person or this group of people, that lets you know something right there. Like, they've made Nick apologize a lot.
Yep.
And you can tell he does that, like, out of the how you say, duress. He doesn't just do it because he just wants to. It's the whole threat behind it. And think about what Dave Chappelle said. Dave Chappelle put it out there, and they still trying to find a way to shut him up, and they can't now.
They can't because he don't care.
Because he don't care, and he done found another way to make his money. That man has found a way to get his money, make his money, and it has nothing to do with outside forces.
Right.
So I'm like, and he happy. He coming to the States when he wants to. The man don't even have to be here.
Yeah, I know they upset about that. He said they still trying to shut me down. I think he did a show where he had this white lady stand up there and he gave her the cards of everything he wanted to say, and she sang it. He said they told me I can't say certain things, so hold on. And he gave it to her. He said, but she can. and she sang it in a Craig style. Everything he was trying to
Oh
say.
yeah, that was funny, and there was some stuff.
It was some-
That was some cutthroat stuff. And I mean, realistically, they couldn't say nothing to her.
right. Because she ain't on contract with him like that. She ain't part of his team.
So can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So y'all saying Nick sold his soul?
What?
What?
Huh?
Who is
Say
this?
that again.
I said,
That's
so y'all
Tyrell
saying Nick sold his
whispering.
soul to the devil?
He might have.
Did he sell
I
his
mean,
soul
he.
to the devil? Okay, first of all, you got to know the music industry, and you got to know the acting industry. You got to know the industry. Period. It's always contracts and contracts. Like, and if you really listen to how a lot of artists that are changing how they move now, they're really already telling you that in my contract, this is what I'm agreeing to, and they tell you I'm basically selling my soul to do whatever it is that you tell me to do, and however you want me to do it. Which is why a lot of people will be like, I'm gonna stay independent because I got control. You can't control my words.
Right.
But once you sell to major labels and you sign to these major, because you're not signing to just that person, you're signing to that person and whoever's behind it running it. And realistically, we know who won all of it. You could go back and just research logos and go just keep following back all these different logos that's out there and find that one logo that's in charge of all of the other ones. I'm just using logos for an example, but it's real. And find out who's the person that owns that. And trust me, it's gonna be buried within 3 names, but it's only gonna be about one person
Yeah.
or one group.
All right, y'all. I got to interrupt our conversation so we can take a quick break. We are F2G Radio, and we are live right here from Clubhouse on F2G.network. So happy to be with y'all one more time, and we'll be right back. Give us one moment. See y'all. All right, y'all. We are back once again. I am Tennille, and I'm the CEO and lead programmer for F2G Network. And I'm also the vessel that God uses Monday through Friday, 7:45 a.m. to be right back with you all for morning social. And I'm on with the execs and our crew today. We are having a conversation about crystal clear in every aspect of it, in different scenarios, just being crystal clear. So our last conversation broke on us talking about the music industry, and Tyrell brought up the selling the soul for a contract. Yeah, I ain't doing that. My soul too valuable, and nobody's contract could ever cover that. So let me leave that back on to Kelly Webb, who was explaining. You have to know what the actual. Why am I missing this word right now? You got to know about the industry. You got to know about the music industry as a whole, and just knowing what the ins and outs are. So I'm gonna leave it back over to them.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that, realistically speaking, and a lot of people are actually, they truly are afraid to talk about it. Um, but being somebody that's been behind the scenes, it's a lot of things that you do here, um, that unfortunately, when you sign an NDA, you can never speak on. But and they're real good for that. Let me explain,
Yeah.
baby. I had so many NDAs I had to sign. Father in heaven. But what I can say is that there are contracts that tell you, that are not clear, but it does include a lot of additional things. I think I can safely say that.
So they're putting stuff in there because see, you can't say stuff. I can't. So they're putting
We
stuff
can, I
in
mean,
there.
you can see most of it, y'all. Listen, everybody think about them. They all look weird and demonic. Then they always doing crazy stuff. I don't be. Look, this is why I don't listen to half of them. Even half our gospel artists, they all start to act a little certain way to me, and
Well, I
I be
mean,
still a
some
little
of them come
scared.
from that background. Some of our gospel artists come from that background where they signed those contracts and they were part of that. And so their deliverance, they're still going through. So, yeah, you sold your soul to the enemy. It's not going to be as clear as, oh, yeah, I gave my life to the Lord. So all of that went away. No, they're going to try to still bring in what they know from when they was doing it before into this gospel lifestyle because it's what they're used to. And when they get over here, they have people that have been aware of it or into deliverance or into understanding what that background is. And it's like, oh, no, you're not bringing that over here. You're not going to, so we're going to expose this and the other. I mean, at one point, they were trying to say Yolanda Adams was in on a lot of this stuff because of what she was doing with her music and all of those things. And I'm like, you never know because she was into some of the secular stuff. You don't know what might have happened. But I know she's really cautious about even her daughter with the music industry. She's been real open about that. Like my daughter cannot do anything in the music industry without me. That's not gonna happen. And so
I
that's what
mean,
the
and
people.
that I guess that's good, but I guess at what point, for me, when you call yourself a gospel artist and you notice what's going on, or even when you notice what you did, that you become bold enough to expose the enemy for the enemy. I mean, this is the thing is that I feel like personally, and I mean, I've never sold myself to the devil, so I can't say how these people really feel. But if you trust the power of God is stronger than the power of the enemy, I don't care what that contract. I don't care if that contract tell you that you're gonna die if you expose them. Expose the enemy for the enemy. But the mere fact is, some of these people they still want to preach Jesus. They still want to preach God, not Jesus. Because I pay attention to that too.
Hmm.
A lot of them, and I know one of the things a part of that contract, especially with the Illuminati, is you have to denounce the name of Jesus, which means you cannot say it. You can say it to him as if you're quoting the Bible, but you cannot call his name out. You cannot say Jesus is my savior. You cannot say, like Kirk Franklin doesn't put Jesus in any of his music anymore. It's very weird to me. He'll say God all day, every day, but he did not use Jesus at all.
Did you listen to the
And
last
and it's
album?
and it's a oh,
His last album.
did he?
Yes.
I don't know. I could listen to.
Uh-uh.
He must have just started because
Yeah,
he
his
cut
last
Jesus out a
album.
long time
Yes.
ago.
Yeah, he
So
definitely
I
did on the last
because
album.
he started moving a little funny to me. So I started paying attention to those certain things. And I love Kurt. Kurt's the Kurt's go. He got some good music. But I started paying attention to certain things, and I was just like, but my thing is expose the enemy for the enemy. I mean, don't get me wrong. Kanye West did it. Crazy as he may seem to others, he exposed that lifestyle for what it was. And yeah, they tried to end him and he couldn't. He's a prime example. And he probably did a lot worse than some of these other people have done. And if they can't kill him, what make you think they're gonna be able to kill you? They can't kill you unless God allows it. Like, expose this crap, because at the end of the day, what y'all are doing is y'all are now selling us Christians perverted music, and I don't want it. Like, I have to pay attention to like, I really do. I pay attention to lyrics of songs. I pay attention to all of that, because some of these lyrics are declarations that you're making over yourself, and I don't want it. Like, I mean, I love Tamala. Tamala, man, is a wonderful singer. I think she's anointed, all of that. But take me to the King. No, don't take me to Jesus. Take me to Him in prayer. I don't want to go to Him right now. And I'm not declaring over myself that I'm tired. I'm not doing none of that. No, I'm not. I'm not tired. I'm well rested. I am strengthened. I am empowered. All of that, because that's a declaration song to me, and you make that declaration over yourself when you sing it.
I
And
think
and
that
and, I,
with
and I'm
her,
sorry.
that's different. I got a different opinion there. I feel like her song "Take Me to the King" was her singing from a place of where people are. Like, that wasn't about this is what I'm saying about myself. This is one of those things that I'm going through. And from this side, "Take Me to the King" was pushing herself out of a place. It wasn't to say this is what I'm declaring over my life. It's literally this is what I'm going through. And sometimes I think as Christians we do take that to the place of, don't say this about yourself. And but if I'm going through this, I'm going through it. And if I need to say that I'm going through it so I can get out of it, then that's what I need to do, because Take Me to the King brought me out of some places. Because I'm like, yep, I'm tired. That's true. I'm going through some things. I'm heartbroken. I'm hurt. I'm scraped. I don't know what else to do. The pieces are literally all over the place. And I utilized that song to be able to get myself from a place of being broken out. So I don't think it was because she was declaring over her life. I think it was a way to get out of some stuff. Because at
Now,
the time that she wrote that song, I think that was around the time that her marriage was on the fritz and everything else had happened.
Yeah, that was after she had
Found out he cheated on her.
yeah, no,
and she had that, and she was going through that mess with her surgery and all. But
Yeah.
this is the thing is, what and my reason for saying that is this, right? In so many ways, lyrics to songs, especially like that song, right? You are spiritual enough to say, okay, this is what it is. Other people are not. And this is why I tell people all the time, every song is not for everybody, and you have to make sure what you're singing for your season and what you're spiritual enough to be able to dissect. Because everybody can't listen to Take Me to the King and, you know what I'm saying, and get something spiritual out of it. I've heard Take Me to the King in the being played in a club. And it's more of, forget the church. We just want God. The church ain't nothing. You know what I mean? Just give me God. Not Jesus, but God. And so, like, we have to be careful with what we are saying because of the world that we live in. And I understand it even being your testimony. But when you are saying, take me to the King or take me to God, what God are you serving? Like, who is the God that you're serving? Who is this? You know what I mean? Like, tell me his name is Jesus. Tell me, he's the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. Give me something. Because what the world has learned to do is take everything that does not have Jesus in it and make it about another God. And
But
that's what they
everything
do.
is not going to say Jesus. That's my thing. Is that one of
And
the
it's
things
and
that I
it's
had
not.
to
But the
learn about
thing
it. But
is,
if you are constantly yelling Jesus in a song, don't mean it's about Jesus. We had a song that we listened to, B and I, just to review one of these guys' songs, and because you hear Jesus in it, doesn't make it a Jesus song. We got into this song and started listening to those lyrics, and I was like, there it is. He ain't really talking about Jesus the way you think he's talking about it just because he say Jesus. If you get into the song talks about how he's pretty much saying, I don't want to deal with this life anymore. I don't want to deal with all of this stuff these Christians talking about. Yeah, I grew up like this, but in my eyes right now the universe got. But he talks about Jesus. He does talk about this is what I was planning, what was planning inside of me. But he's talking about the universe. He's not talking about Jesus. Just because it doesn't say Jesus doesn't make it a gospel song, doesn't make it a spiritual song, doesn't make it about any demonic parts of who that God is. It's just that they didn't say Jesus. And I think even as and the older saints used to tell us all the time, your music don't say Jesus, it ain't true Christian music. It ain't about the Lord. And I'm like, that's not true. Because I could talk about God all day long and tell you how good God has been to me. I may not ever say Jesus not one time in the whole song, but I promise you my whole life is playing to be before Jehovah. Like it's literally the whole
But I
thing.
think that's because we don't like when it comes to the music industry, just like Kelly said, when you don't understand the music industry, we don't understand what God you serve. So when we don't hear you say Jesus and we don't know what y'all doing back to behind scenes to get where you got, you feel what I'm saying? Because some of them came up kind of quick. Then a lot of us from the outside looking in, we're wondering what God do you serve, especially when some of y'all start moving a little funny, like Kirk. Kirk moves a little funny to me. Tyler Perry moves a little funny to me. So when y'all can't say Jesus, I be like, okay. Now you feel what I'm saying? Now if I know you, you feel what I'm saying? Like, can y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
For you, Tennille, like if you call me and talk about God, I know you. You feel what I'm saying? I know the God that you serve. So I don't need you to that you say his name. But if I don't know you, you can't come to me and talk to me about God because I'm gonna ask you what God are you talking about? What God do you serve? Because when I worked in management at Walmart, I had atheists in there, I had Muslims in there, and they all talked about God. Like we would sit around a table and everybody would talk about God, God, God. And one day I decided to just be wise enough to say, what God are y'all talking about? Everybody at the table had a different God, but they're all talking about God.
Mm-hmm.
Same attributes, same everything, but everybody had a different God. But this is because we don't know what you do behind the scenes. I don't know what God you're talking about. And because I don't know, I need to know. Because if I don't know you, then who's talking about? I don't
Listen, and
know.
even when you know them, you still got to question them because you never know what shit's gonna come through
Yeah,
your
so
mouth.
that's what I'm saying. So with some of these artists, if I can't hear you say his name, and it ain't gotta be in every song, but you gotta say his name. If you got 15 tracks on a record, and I don't hear Jesus once, I'm concerned. I'm a little eerie about what God you're talking about
Listen, I'm
because I
telling you,
don't
I
know.
I shift. If I ain't gotta hear it not one time on that nail song that you sing, I'm still gonna
See,
ask
I'm a
you.
little different. I'll be like, oh,
Right. I'm like, I ain't gotta hear it. I because my thing is just because you ain't put it on the song don't mean you don't believe, and just because you do doesn't mean that you do believe. I'd rather ask you to your face and find out from you what your belief is. Because at some point in an interview, it may never be on their songs, but if you watch their interviews, you never know what you're going to hear. If you watch them when they worship in live, you never know what you're going to hear. And you'll hear different things from people in different atmospheres. Where they songs, they might feel like, because some of these contracts that they sign be like, don't do that because we want to be universal. You don't want to be a controversial person. You don't want to be, so we taking this out. A lot of those things are being maneuvered around so that their music can sell. But you get around them and all in their house while they're recording. God is real. God is real. Jesus is bomb. I got this. I got that. Jesus freaks all day long, and you would never know it if you don't look outside. Which is why, like even with Krishan and Blueface, I researched everything. I started listening to what she was saying in her lyrics. I started going into what videos were up. That's how I found out about the abuse. I didn't listen to what other people were saying about them. I went into it myself and I researched it for myself. I would have never found that video of her being with Dr. Freeman. I know Dr. Freeman from years ago, but I didn't know that she was attached to their ministry. Been there since she was 8 years old. Like this man poured into her. He is her godfather. Nobody knew that. But they will drag this young lady down about how she ain't got no faith. How you think she came out of this stuff and is getting her life back together because she was like, God is too good to me. I live my life the way I live it. But just because she never says Jesus does not make her unsaved. She literally went back to the same man that poured into her at 9 years old and blessed her during the time when she was homeless to put money back in his hand so that she can say, I'm giving back to you what you gave to me. And she told him, this the way you gave it to me in a big bulk. Here goes some money because that's the way you blessed me at 9 when I wanted to just bless you while you were preaching. And he tells everybody, y'all be coming at her, but there's favor on her. There's an anointing on her. And no matter what she's doing, God still got her. So we can't look at what we only hear them saying, or even their lifestyle does not make them not say. Because if that was the case, y'all would probably never have talked to me ever. Because I was the one walking around talking about, I ain't got to yell about Jesus, loved him for real, needed him every day, hollered about him all the time, will go around until you go screw yourself in your church. I ain't got to come in your church. I don't need to be in that building. Screw y'all. But we'll sit here and ride for real for God, Jesus and Holy Spirit. But I don't need to be in your house. Church hurt. You never know what you're going to hear. You just gotta be able to discern it and figure out what their lifestyles are. If you're a person that needs to know what their lifestyle is, research the person. Go deep into it. Even Kirk sat and said, what was the thing he was talking about recently? He was talking about how he felt like the only reason why he got as many followers that he got or the awards that he got had nothing to do with him. He said, I don't think they even really, you know, liked my music. I think it was just because of who I was with. And I thought he was joking at first until I watched the whole video and I'm like, oh, he's serious. He's sitting there saying, y'all talking about these awards and stuff. And that was right around the time that the hip hop awards was coming out. And he was like, I just, I really don't think that I would have had all of this if y'all didn't know who I was connected to. If y'all didn't know what was going on with this, I wouldn't have had all these followers. And I'm like, so what, Kirk, who you connected to? Because I'm trying to figure out what connected you to win all these awards because the songs you made were amazing songs for us during the time they came out. I know that he's been making a lot of amends too. Candy West is one of the singers that's on his album. Dang it, it's one of the earlier albums that he had because that one was around about 96, I think that came out, and she wrote a couple of the songs that he never gave her credit for. Now that Pastor Candy West is running some stuff, he had to go to her church in Alabama and he went and apologized to her and did a whole service with her and explained how she wrote some of the music. Half of the music that he wrote didn't reach the radio stations until it passed through her because he wrote songs that weren't hits and she had to come in and step in and straighten out some things for him and they redid the songs and put them out, so he had to give her acknowledgement. So I don't know what he's going through now, but whatever it is, he's making amends with people. So we don't know what's going on in these people's lives. I never look at anything from the outside trying to figure it out. I need to see it from the inside. What can I find out that's going to open the door? And if I can't find out nothing, I just don't make an assumption. That's just me to make sure everything is clear on my end. Amber, you've been just chilling. She ain't said she been in and out. Good morning, Amber Webb. Amber J.
Amber Webb.
Girl.
That's a good name. AW.
Ain't all.
Oh, that's it. That's it. A Webb. Hallelujah.
A mess. A mess.
Y'all, what if my next husband last name is Webb again?
No, we're not doing that. Anyway, that's wrong. Amber, how are you this morning? What are you up to, ma'am?
Um, Nothing. I'm not up to nothing.
I'm like, why she sound like she having a chill moment?
She does. I am. I'm having a chill moment.
Oh, what? That's cool. Those are great.
Yes, ma'am.
She a little too laid back. She is like, I'm just dragging along in this conversation here. I'm just having one of those moments. Y'all, we are like 13 minutes out from closing out. And once again, we are live this week. I hope y'all have been enjoying the shows that you've been listening to live on the radio, also on Facebook. So know that you're on the radio, you're at f2gradio.net. If you are on Facebook, you're at f2g.radio. Today, I decided to go live on my personal page on Facebook. So you are live on I Am Tennille. And then also you are live on YouTube every single time that we go live. You're going to be live on YouTube at Faithful to God Network on YouTube. Make sure y'all are subscribing, following us, clicking the bell so you know we're live because we're about to kick off some stuff. Some new videos are coming up over there. F2G Eats is on the move. We've already started. So those things are being released. Join us, y'all. Join us for some good eating. Okay, we going out to some different we're going out to some different places and getting some good food and making sure that we can check out food. Now listen, all the food ain't good. All the food ain't good, and we will be letting you know that. Just so you'll know, we will be letting you know that all of the food is not good. Okay, so we're not gonna lie to you. We're gonna tell you what's good, what's not good, our favorite things that are there, whether or not we like the owners, and you'll get a chance to meet some of the owners and some of the people that work there. Just being excited about different things, and we're gonna have some pictures and posting them up. So make sure you're following us on Facebook, on YouTube, subscribe to Patreon, patreon.com/F, the number two, the letter G. Make sure you're following us over there and subscribe there as well because that's going to be an opportunity for you to get into this good teaching, like this good Bible teaching that Kelly finna bring forth this month. Are y'all ready? Look, she threw her hands up. Y'all missing these emojis if you're online.
I'm excited about it, y'all, and I'm usually one that's not excited about this stuff. I'm excited about this one.
Come on, so we gonna be Bible thumping, huh? Come on over here and join us for a little time as we continue on our conversation for the next 10 minutes. We are excited to have you on with us, and we'll be closing out at 9:45 this morning. Y'all, I'm excited, but we are clearing the station right now. So if you want to join this conversation, you need to jump on Clubhouse. Okay, go to Clubhouse F2G.network. Join us over here, talk with us, get some words in. Let's talk about it. Let's cheer about it. Let's discuss it. Because at the end of the day, all our discussions we have and we still love each other afterwards, y'all. We ain't gotta have the same opinion to be on the same page. I'm just saying. Y'all have a good one. Love y'all so much. We are out of here. Peace out, Radio Land. Bye. No, I'm joking. I'm really gonna put on music.